Alright gamers, let's cut to the chase. We all know that feeling when you're in the heat of battle, fingers flying across the keys, and suddenly, your cheap keyboard decides to throw a tantrum. Annoying, right? I've gone on a mission to find the absolute best gaming keyboards of 2024, and let me tell you, these bad boys are so responsive, you'll swear they're reading your mind. Fair warning, number 3 might just make your brain explode, in a good way. Oh, and before you ask, yep, I've included links to these beasts in the description box below. Now, let's get into the video. Coming in at number 5, we've got the Wooting 2HE, a technological beast that changes the game, literally. First off, let's talk about its party trick, rapid trigger technology. Now, you might be thinking, what's a rapid trigger? Well, the Wooting 2HE uses something called Hall effect switches. Instead of traditional mechanical contacts, these switches use magnets and sensors to detect key presses. This means the keyboard can measure the entire key press from start to finish with incredible precision. But here's where it gets wild. The Wooting 2HE can reset a key faster than you can say headshot. As soon as you start releasing a key, it's ready to be pressed again. In fast-paced games like Valorant or Counter-Strike, this can give you a serious edge. What's more, this keyboard also offers fully analog controls on each key. That means you can control your movement or actions with the precision of a racing wheel or joystick, but with the familiarity of a keyboard. Now let's talk build quality. The Wooting 2HE is built like a tank. It's solid, well-constructed, and comes with a 2-year warranty. And if a switch ever does break, no problem. The keyboard is hot swappable, so you can replace individual switches without breaking out the soldering iron. But here's the kicker. All of these features don't come at the cost of typing experience. The Wooting 2HE feels great for everyday use, with satisfying key presses and a comfortable layout. Is it perfect? Well, not quite. Some games don't play nice with the analog switches, and it can take some time to get used to the analog control. But for competitive gamers looking for every possible advantage, the Wooting 2HE is a game changer. Alright, let's scale new heights with our number 4 pick, the Mountain Everest 60. This keyboard might be compact, but it packs a punch that'll knock your gaming socks off. First things first, let's talk about size. The Everest 60 is a 60% keyboard, which means it's perfect for those of you who want to maximize your desk space for those epic mouse swipes. But here's where it gets interesting. It's modular. That's right, you can add a numpad to either side of the keyboard. Left side numpad users, this one's for you. Your time has come. Now let's dive into what makes this keyboard a true champion. The Everest 60 is built like a fortress. It's got a solid aluminum base that's heavier than your average gaming headset. But this isn't just about weight, it's about quality. Inside this beast, you'll find layers upon layers of sound dampening materials. There's silicone in the base, 2 layers of foam sandwiching the PCB, and even the stabilizers are lubed to perfection. The result? A typing experience smoother than you can imagine. But what about the switches? Mountain has you covered with their own brand of mechanical switches. You've got options: tactile 55, linear 45, or linear 45 speed. These bad boys are factory lubed and feel super stable. Let's talk about features. The Everest 60 comes with per-key RGB lighting that's brighter than your future in esports. You've also got a funky little dial that can control volume, brightness, or even zoom levels. And the best part? It's all customizable through Mountain's Basecamp software. Now, is it perfect? Well, that tiny right shift key may take some getting used to, and yes, if you want the full experience with the numpad, it's gonna cost you a pretty penny. But for the quality you're getting, it's worth every cent. Now, our number 3 pick is about to blow your mind. Introducing the Keychron Q3 Max. The keyboard that's going to make you question everything you thought you knew about typing. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. This keyboard weighs more than some gaming laptops. We're talking 4.5 pounds of pure, unadulterated keyboard goodness. But don't let that scare you off, because this weight translates into one of the most satisfying typing experiences you'll ever have. The Q3 Max is carved out of a single block of aluminum, making it sturdier than your team's defense in League of Legends. But it's not just about looks. This keyboard is packed with more layers. You've got sound-dampening foam, film, a latex pad, and even more foam. The result? A typing experience that's super smooth. Now let's talk switches. The Q3 Max comes with a choice of Gateron Jupiter switches, red, brown, or banana. And get this, they're all pre-lubed. That's right, these switches are super slick. But here's where things get really interesting. The Q3 Max comes with a customizable knob. You can use it for volume control, zooming, brightness adjustment, or pretty much anything else you can think of. Connectivity? You've got options. There's a 2.4 GHz wireless, Bluetooth, or good old-fashioned USB-C. And with a battery life of up to 180 hours, you could probably finish an entire RPG before needing to recharge. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds expensive. And you're not wrong. The Q3 Max isn't cheap. But remember, quality never is. This is a keyboard that's going to outlast your current gaming rig, and probably the next one too. Now it's time to talk about our runner-up, the G.Skill KM250 RGB. Now, some of you might be thinking, G.Skill, aren't they the RAM guys? Well, hear me out. Or let's just cut to the chase. This keyboard is a budget gamer's dream come true. We're talking mechanical switches, per-key RGB, hot swappable keys, and discrete media controls, all for less than the cost of a AAA game title. That's right. For just $40, you can upgrade your setup with a keyboard that punches way above its weight class. The KM250 RGB comes with Kale linear switches out of the box. Are they the best switches in the world? No, but they're solid, reliable, and get the job done. And here's the kicker. If you decide you want to upgrade later, you can. The keyboard is hot swappable, meaning you can pop in new switches faster than you can respawn in Fortnite. Now let's talk about that RGB. The KM250 comes with per-key RGB lighting that's super bright. You can customize it to your heart's content, creating a light show that'll make your setup look like a miniature EDM festival. But G.Skill didn't stop there. They've also included a discrete volume wheel. That's right, a physical, tactile volume control on a budget keyboard. Now, what's the catch? Well, to keep the price down, G.Skill had to make some compromises. The chassis is plastic, which means you're not getting the same premium feel as some of the more expensive options, and without sound dampening, the typing experience can be a bit hollow. But here's the thing, for $40, none of that matters. This keyboard gives you a genuine mechanical typing experience, customizable RGB, and features usually reserved for keyboards 3 times its price. It's the perfect entry point for gamers looking to dip their toes into the world of mechanical keyboards. Before we reveal our top pick, make sure to check the description for the best deals on the G.Skill KM250 RGB. And now, for our number 1 pick, Asus ROG Strix Scope 296 Wireless. You see, Asus has taken everything we love about mechanical keyboards and cranked it up to 11. The result? A typing experience so good, you'll want to write a thank you note to Asus, using this keyboard, of course. Let's start with the switches. The Scope 296 comes with pre-lubed ROG NX switches. You've got your choice of linear NX Snow or tactile NX Storm. These switches are super smooth. But Asus didn't stop there. They've added sound dampening foam, switch pads, and sturdy PBT keycaps. The result? A keyboard that sounds as good as it feels. Typing on this thing is like conducting a symphony of satisfying clacks. Now let's talk about layout. The Scope 296 is a 96% keyboard, which means you get a full numpad without the bulk of a full-size keyboard. It's like having your cake and eating it too. And speaking of eating, there's a multifunction wheel that's perfect for adjusting volume during those intense gaming sessions. But what about wireless performance? The Scope 296 has got you covered. With a 1000 Hz polling rate, it's more responsive than some wired keyboards. And with both 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth connectivity, you've got options for days. This sounds perfect, right? But in the interest of fairness, let's talk about the one tiny flaw. The Armoury Crate software. It's a bit messy. But hey, nobody's perfect, right? Before we wrap up, let's talk about price. For all these features, you might expect to sell a kidney, but surprise! The Scope 296 is actually reasonably priced for what you're getting. It's not cheap, but it's not going to break the bank either. And there you have it, our top 5 gaming keyboards this year. From the budget-friendly G.Skill KM250 RGB to the premium Asus ROG Strix Scope 296 wireless, there's something here for every gamer. Remember, for the best prices on all these keyboards, check out the links in the description box below. So which one of these bad boys caught your eye? Are you team wireless or team wired? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell. You won't want to miss our next video.